Hi everyone, and welcome back to today's episode of The Daily Grind. I haven't done a video in, let me think about this, probably 2.5 weeks, so I have a lot to tell you. And one of the things I'm working on is in my sewing room. I feel like my sewing room has been in disarray for the past 2 years or so I'm trying to get really focused and organized in here. And if you look over to the left right now, I'm going to have a picture of my wall unit here that I am constructing. Now, right now you just see the wall and you see the illustration of where this wall unit is going to be and how it's going to look. So it's going to be 5 columns, 4 drawers in each columns, relatively skinny drawers, and everything you see on this shelf below it just looks like a mess and I can't stand the way it looks. So all of this is going to be organized into the drawers in this shelving unit that you see right here on the floor of my living room that I am constructing. So later on this week, I'm going to move this into my sewing room, and then I'm going to get that installed next week. Now the desk that I have below it, I'm going to give to my husband. Originally, I made that desk. It was a computer desk for multiple monitors. My son moved out. I made it custom for him, but my husband would like that. And then I will figure out another table that is working for me in my sewing room to put at least 4 machines on. Over here on the right-hand side, this is my inset shelving unit I made last year, and I finally got it installed. It took me forever. And this is going to be a great place to keep all my threads. I'm going to construct a door so I can keep the dust out of it. It's not exposed to direct sunlight, so I'm not worried about that, but I do want to keep my cats out of there as well. I don't do embroidery every day. It's more of a spurt here, spurt there. As a project demands, then I will do my embroidery. In addition, I'm going to get back into doing my podcast, and I have a really good podcast coming up, and my podcast is called So Chat with Kat, so you can listen to that on iTunes or Spotify. And the next episode is going to be how to shop for a machine specifically for knits at a sewing dealer. Now, if you're going to a multi-brand dealer, that is the best way to do it because you can try out different machines. But I want you to be very, very careful to the wording a dealer may give you to try to sway you from one brand over another. There may be a reason that a dealer may recommend one brand over another, and it may not be in your best interest to follow that advice. So stay tuned for that. Moving on to the sewing portion of this video, what have I been working on with swimsuits? All right, so this one is my most recent make, and this one is the Triangles and Tangas Pinup Girls pattern, and this is labeled for beachwear, swimwear, or for posing. So think competition suits for bikini competitions or bodybuilding. Now, I was a little worried. I had to make this top. I didn't have my choice because I ran out of fabric. I had a yard of this beautiful shimmery pastel fabric that originally this was like a last thought purchase, and I'm really glad I bought it because it's so beautiful in real life. And when I picked this pattern, I was a little concerned because there's a lot of exposure here, a lot of exposure there, just due to the nature of the style of the swimwear, but it works and I do get decent amount of coverage. And then, just the back, and it ties in. So I really like this. To match the bottom, I did the Greenstyle Creations Rally Skirt, and this is shown here. And this has the built-in bottoms underneath. So great little skirt, and this is perfect if you want a more modest bikini bottom. So you can make this in different lengths. You can cut it to the longer length, and then when you can try it on, if it's too long for you, you can just cut off a little bit more until you get the desired length that you want. Because originally I made it long, and then I consulted the highest authority that I know for fashion, my daughter, my oldest daughter, and she said, Mom, go a little bit shorter. And I agreed with her. So I did cut it shorter, and I got a great length on this skirt. But I also ran into the problem of when I bought this fabric, because it was a last minute thought, I only got a yard, and then I ran into the problem of not having enough fabric. So you can see on the sides here, when I tried it on, I had to add a wedge right here. So you can see there's a seam. Let's see if I can find this seam. It's hard to see, this little extra piece is right here, and this is a wedge going up to the one seam. Now you also see this strip right here, because when I tried this on, I found that this area right here was just a little too snug against my body at the top of the skirt. And I think it's because the nature of this swim fabric, not all swim fabrics, in my opinion, have the same amount of stretch. Sometimes when you get fabrics with these patterns here, it's not as stretchy as you think it would be, because I did do a test muslin and the skirt was perfect. But on this swimsuit fabric, I just need a little extra room. So what I did was on the sides, I just cut extra strips of fabric, and you can see how I put that in at the side seams. And then I just sewed the skirt right back onto the waistband and to the briefs underneath. Looks great. Looks like a styling detail. I always say what separates a great sewer from a good sewer is the ability to work through problems, work through issues like not enough fabric, and be able to pull it all together. And speaking of great sewers, I would like to nominate my younger daughter as a great sewer, because here she is in her most recent creation. And you'll see right here, she also ran into a problem of not having too much fabric. Can you tell? No, you can't. You just simply see a beautiful dress, and she said she got a lot of compliments on it. So kudos to her. And always try to work your way through some of these problems. The next skirt I'm working on, it's going to be, again, the rally skirt, and got this almost finished. I just have to do some permanent serge or stitching here, but I didn't have enough fabric. Again, when I purchased this from the Style Magnolia, because that's the Style Magnolia fabric, this is the Mystic Cavern print, and it's on pre-order now in their current round, so you have to hurry to get this in, to get this fabric. But you can see right here, I didn't have enough fabric, so I used a hot pink nylon lycra swim fabric I had in my stash. And what's really nice about this pattern is the inner pattern piece is a little bit shorter than the outer pattern piece for the waistband. So what happens is when you attach it to the skirt, the inside naturally rolls in, and it's more like this because this part is slightly narrower than the outside. The matching top for that fabric is going to be the Patterns for Pirates Vixen top, which I have already made, and that is shown here. So I think this style of the Vixen top paired with the rally skirt is also a great combination, and I'm looking forward to having that finished in the next couple of days. Some of you know a couple of weeks ago I was talking about doing a shelf bra video to show you my approach on how to do a shelf bra. There are so many videos out there, it doesn't matter which one you watch. Mine is just another one to show you my mindset on how I go about doing this. And I probably will use a combination of power mesh and power net, but not in the same places on the pattern. So stay tuned for that. The fabric that I will be using is a beautiful dark pink cotton lycra. I got this from Nick of Time Textiles in Allentown, Pennsylvania. They are online, but if you live relatively close like I do, you can go right down to Nick of Time and check out all their fabrics, and this I think is going to be a nice fabric. Now cotton lycra does not have the same drape as, let's say, double brush poly, but I think it's going to be good to use for the pattern that I'm going to use, which is the Heartstrings dress by Pattern Emporium. This is a new release. I just got it on sale. The sale might be over by now, and I was trying to decide between the Heartstrings and the Greenstyle Creations new release as well, but the Heartstrings by Pattern Emporium won out. And this can be made as a dress. You have several different hemline lengths, so it gives you a lot of flexibility. Easy dressing in the summer. Just throw on this dress. Don't worry about a bra. You're good to go. And that basically completes this video to let you know what's going on, podcast, shelf bra video coming up, and just reworking my sewing room. All right, you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode of The Daily Grind.